Let's go. No raising the sail here. Sing, my ravens. You salt skulls, got a story?
I came to England too late. That is the problem. The sons of Ragnar have shorn her of all possible glories. Everywhere I go, I find the footprints of men and women who were there
More
before
sail!
me. In my first weeks, I gathered many men and took them breathing. I lost my heart to an ealdorman's wife. Kidnapped her away. But even that was not enough to raise the name of Rollo above the clamor. Other names but mine ring on the tongues of the Skalds. Halfdan, Uba, Guthrum, and Eivor the Wolf-Kissed. Like the trees of a great forest, they shade those beneath, and nothing more can grow there. This land is full. Its glories are spent. I need to look to other shores, where I will write my saga into history.
Who will share a tale?
Unar the Ugly was an excellent sailor who could pilot a longship entirely on his own. This is why King Sigvaldi kept him around. In all other matters, Unar was a cruel, anxious, and humorless man. He was one of the most unlikable people I have ever known. One year, I recall we had invited some Carls from the Yngling clan to dine with us.
Down.
As we were serving ale, we came to find that we had none left. It so happened that the ale had run out just before reaching Unar's hall. This raised in him a word storm, and he accused Sigvaldi of treachery. Every man in the longhouse jeered at Unar for raising such a fuss. This made Unar
Sail.
angrier than before.
Catch the
He
wind.
stormed out. A short time later, we heard him yelling through the door of the hall. I set this scorn pall upon the men of Yngling for their dishonor! We looked outside and saw that Unar had severed one of the heads of the Yngling's horses and stuck it upon a hazel branch. When he saw us gathering at the door, the Yngling Carls among us, Unar panicked and ran. He was not seen for many months.
Let's sail.
No need for this.
Run up the sail. Let's have a song. Not right now. Sing us a song. We need an epic tale.
I often wonder, who deserves it? The largest cup of mead at the feast? Valka because she heals? The chosen dynasty of Styrbjörn's sons? Or Bragi who sits on a throne of his own here on this river steed? Should he get his ale before we all drink? Or do our lips all hit the mug at the same time? This brings to mind an old myth, no longer told, of Olaf, the mead blood. His mead was too good, always to drink it. But none knew that his secret ingredient was a tiny dram of ox blood. That one day, he decided to feed a sip of mead to his favored ox. Yet the blood he used for that batch was his own. It is only fair, he said. But this angered the Jarl Thorgnar, who wanted a quaff of the mead before the generous animal. To avoid serving his own blood, Olaf served ordinary mead. But it was bland and Thorgnar spit it to the floor. Olaf was ashamed. He left them and never returned. Olaf's story died in those bland cups of mead. There is a hidden lesson here, of course. I will leave it to you to work it out for yourselves.
Rolfer, you are destined for greatness.
Heed me, rowers, and I will tell you the tale of how I met my wife. Since many of you wonder at how we berserkers could ever meet, I was young, and at a midsummer feast in Trondheim, when someone bumped me, knocking my sweet honeycomb into their mead. I was mad, but she just laughed at me. We spent the rest of the night together, sharing mead and honey, and other things. But in the morning she sailed away with her fleet to Orkney. I wept and raged, because I knew I would not see her again. Then, the gods smiled on me, and I found a ship heading to Orkney and needed a rower. I climbed aboard, and for weeks I rowed. We landed, and I made my way to her father's farm. But too late. She was wedding that same day. The groom's hounds chased me. Heartbroken, I returned to the ship and slept. Next morn, we lifted sail, and I began to row. It took an hour before I saw she was sitting behind me. I was overjoyed. Sometime in the night, she had left the wreck and snuck onto our ship. We rode together for weeks, wet and happy. Those were happier days. Before Njal and the Berserker, and my
We
first...
can continue later. Were you at the good part yet?
Those were happier days. Before Njal and the Berserker, and my first battle. And of course, the dark deeds that later befell us.
Let's hear a story.
I once saw a Dane in Gautland boil bear meat for his supper. Can you believe that? He boiled it! A story from my youth. This one...
I was in Hedeby when I saw the truest scene of love. There were two royals, King Sigurd and Queen Alvidi, who seemed a matched pair. They ruled well, a dynasty of grace, honor, and might. They carried themselves with so much love, all of us envied them. Then Sigfrida arrived.
We will pick up from there. Where were you?
Then Sigfrida arrived, princess and daughter to King Sharvik, a rival house that had chosen to ally with Sigroth, a powerful union. With everything to gain, all to lose, Sigroth and Sigfrida disobeyed all logic and fell deeply in love. But King Sharvik refused to part with his daughter. An old man, his death was coming, and he commanded that she die with him. She would join him in the corpse hall before joining Sigroth in marriage. So it would pass. Sharvik died. Sigfrida...
Save it for later. All right, back to the story.
Sigfrida was next to be burned. As the flames took her, Sigroth leapt upon the pyre and followed her into the next place. Sigroth left behind a wife, children, a clan, a village, and all the riches and honor he held in. For love, what he did seems a dishonor. But love is often higher than honor.
Is there a sea called among you?
During my time in East Anglia, Athelred, the king that lived for a brief time before Oswald, asked a secret favor of me. He needed a ship to ferry some stolen goods from the ports of Jorvik to East Anglia. Said it was urgent. I had done many such...
Hush now. The guards here are vigilant. Where were you?
I had done many such runs for Halfdan in my day. I was not afraid. But something about this run made me uneasy. Still, I went. The moment we docked our boats and entered Jorvik's underbelly, the contact we met hastily handed us some heavy crates. And just as we loaded up,
we noticed hooded figures at the end of the alley. They started to knock flaming arrows. I had seen enough. We shoved off, hoisted the sails, and headed fast for open water.
Hold on, good Scald. Were you at the good part yet?
I had seen enough. We shoved off, hoisted the sails, and headed fast for open water. I looked back at our contact. He was now face down.
We'll pick up from there. All right, back to the story.
He was now face down in the
Hold on, good Scald. Were you at the good part yet?
He was now face down in the water, stuck with arrows, his body aflame. What by Odin's beard had filled these crates? Lo and
No
behold,
other mask!
it was books, piles of Christian tomes. Such madness. Who knew Ethelred valued something more than ale?
Set the mast up! We need an epic tale. Sail
I had an
out!
odd friend when I was a boy. His name was Nori.
Save it for later.
Some sort of boat there!
Bring the sail in. Let the sail out!
Look there! Enemy camp, Eivor!
Is there a sea scald among you?
I know a crazed man about my age called...
Listen, and I will tell you the story of the...
No.
I'm nearing Wareham, deep into Alfred's heartland. I hope Guthrum has a sound plan.
Sail down!
Hey, what are you doing?
Go!
Strange to see Norse and Saxon banners flying side by side. I should find Guthrum. Soma!
Eivor, you come at Guthrum's call. It is good to see you.
And you, Soma. There's an uneasy peace here. Both armies with their hackles up. Was blood spilled?
No, we took Wareham without resistance. These Saxons accompany their lord as we stand beside Guthrum.
So this fort is not the sum of his ambitions. Guthrum's plan is to bring the Saxons to the table.
If he can win the peace without a fight, he will do so.
And how likely is that?
Just now they sit on their thumbs in the church, talking in circles. Come, I will take you to him.
Who's Guthrum meeting here? Is it Alfred?
That's right. The king of the West Saxons has agreed to negotiate. Seems we have him on the back foot.
Guthrum should be careful. Alfred speaks with Loki's tongue.
Guthrum is not a babe at teat, Eivor.
Nor is Alfred. If he has come, it is for his own advantage.
Then give us counsel. Stand by Guthrum, show our strength. The king of Hayseeds will soon be humbled, trust me.
We took this town as if it were a straw hall. Do not challenge me, Elf King.
Your show of swagger and strength has my attention, Guthrum, but we agreed on terms. What more do you want?
The crown of Wessex.
Wessex has a king, and that king has the backing of the Almighty. Yours is a fever dream, Dane.
Guthrum does not negotiate with oathbreakers. Men whose words are only shadows of their thoughts.
Ah, Eivor. Our blunted tool returns, Lord.
I have given you all I care to. A Danegeld to leave Wareham. You swore an oath upon the cross and that pagan hammer.
And when you scurry back to whatever shit-soaked hovel you crawled from, we will release your men.
Speak again, handmaid, and I will feed your tongue to Eivor's raven.
A fair trade. We already have your cock.
Are we done with this pissing contest? If Guthrum has given you his word, then he will honor it. We will leave this town.
You have 1 day. Do not test the king's patience further, or our men will return to Wareham with force.
And if you doubt my conviction, know that the Avon River near Uffentune runs red with the blood of your countrymen. Their commander, what did his men cry as he fell? Ula? Uba? Yes, that was it. Remember, you have taken my silver. In return, I expect your honor. I will await news of your retreat in Chippenham.
Uber dead? It cannot be. Gods, I will tear that Saxon's skin from his bones if this is true.
Alfred hisses with a snake tongue, but he gains nothing from this lie.
When news of this spreads through the camp, no Saxon will survive the day.
You swore upon the cross.
Oh, I have no intention of cowing to that milk sack. Now more than ever, I will take his throne and his head.
In Winchester, Alfred used me as a tool and cast me aside. So let the betrayer be betrayed. We'll burn this village to the ground. After that, we take care of Alfred. Burn Wareham to the ground! Make it a Saxon pyre!
You oath-breakers! We have
Set Wareham ablaze!
And you'll feel my axe in your gut.
Let vengeance steer your swords! Shit! Have to repair that.
Finish you!
Fire and flame! Burn it all!
For Uba! Every great Norse you sent to Valhalla, I'll send 10 to your hell!
You won't burn Wareham, scum!
Time has come for you!
Their prayers go unanswered this day. We should find Soma.
That's enough!
Stand firm, all! Do not lose your nerve!
This place is routed, Soma.
Good work. We leave now. There are forest ruins just east of here, along the road. Come on, men! Move!
can rest here a moment. Now, tell me what you know of that breaker of rings. Weak and wretched troll.
Alfred is a wily fox. He appears frail, but draws upon an inner strength. He will not be easy to oust.
Fury will fuel my army and my claim.
It will not be enough. You must find a weakness.
Yes, that is why I called you here. Do you balk at the opportunity to bury the Saxon king?
I must first hear a plan to balk at.
Alfred spoke of Chippenham, a squat hovel of sheep and peasants.
So why does he go there, and not to Winchester? Your scouts must know. They're the best in England.
A holiday feast, their Saxon Christ Mass. Alfred will warm his heels by the fire, while Ubba lies cold in an English field.
I've called upon my allies to join us in this fight, but I must know where to send them. Is Chippenham our final prize?
It is. But I will need my men for the coming fight as well. The hostages Alfred took. If there is a chance to save them.
We will not lose more friends today. Where are they held?
A place further ahead through this forest. They call it Hampton Blockade.
Soma, ride north to the Thames and lead my allies south. They should be gathered by now.
I will.
Gather on the river passing Chippenham. The rest of you set up camp there. I called you Raven Feeder once. At Porchester, you were as hot-headed as Thor. You have become a true leader, Eivor.
There's much to come, Guthrum, before we can rest with mead in our hands and songs in our ears.
I will crush Alfred's skull with my bare hands if Ubba is dead.
We cannot dwell on this, even if it's true. If you want the throne, only strategy will deliver it.
Or bloody wrath will steal it. I will follow this Alfred, hound his heels. Revenge burns within me.
A wise man once told me, we do not dash ourselves against hopeless courses. We arrive unexpected, strike swift.
You turn my words against me now, Wolf-Kissed.
I took them too hard in my darkest times, my friend.
And Sigurd? He is back with you?
My brother's story is a long one, and for another time. Ridding the land of a strong ruler will make Wessex harder to tame.
You almost sound like you respect him, Eivor.
I've come to understand the trials of leadership, Guthrum. It is hard not to, when you cradle something as fragile as life within your hands.
There. This is the blockade. The hostages must be in these buildings. What is your plan?
We can tread quietly so as not to alert the guards. We can tread quietly so as not to alert the guards. But I can raid this place in moments with my crew.
I will follow your lead.
They will escape.
Let's go, a Viking! We watching to the house! Righteous!
Enough!
Good haul. Let's go.
There. These are my men.
I told you Guthrum wouldn't leave us here to rot.
Thanks, the gods favor you.
Enough skulking.
These Saxons do not deserve compassion. I will wash my blade in their blood.
Guthrum, some of your men.
We will not be feasting in Odin's hall tonight, boys.
There's a campsite up north by Chippenham. Go there.
As long as I can cut some Saxons down, I don't care where we face them.
Are you Guthrum's men?
Aye. Free us and we will fight by your side.
Thank you. Thank you, friend.
Every Saxon who spat at me will die.
You will have your chance, but don't be foolhardy. Let your steps take you far from here to a camp near Chippenham.
Thank you, Eivor. You did a great deed here. Their families will raise a cup to you.
I need no thanks, Guthrum. Let us speak more when we are safely away. We're safe here. Let us speak, Guthrum. You should join your people at the camp. Even a surprise takes preparation.
Your bravery, your leadership, Eivor. You wear it well. You have grown much since last we spoke.
You judged me fairly, Guthrum. Harsh though your words were. But I do not make the same mistake twice.
How is your brother, Sigurd?
He lives, a changed man. But he is free of full case torment. That at least was a deed well done.
Will this all be worth it in the end? Everything we have done? Everything we have sacrificed to win this land? Sometimes I dream of soothed black furrowed earth. And blood seeping from seedlings, poisoning our future.
We must believe our way of life will survive. Our fates are woven, but our deeds forge our destiny.
And so to our final battle. We will wait for you at the camp.
Alfred spoke of Ubba meeting his end at the Avon River, west of Uffentune. I fear the worst, but I must know.
Sure!
Need to cloak myself here.
Do you believe the Saxon lord? Is Ubba really dead?
Aye. A few survivors found their way to us. The great man is gone. The last vestiges of Ragnar's legacy begin to fade.
We have lost many firebloods. This land has sapped our strength. There will be too few of us to settle when we are done.
Eivor, you made it unscathed.
They came from all over England.
I never thought it possible, Eivor, that you would rally Saxons and Norse under your black-feathered banner.
They see the tyranny of this elf king. He would crush them all under heel and plug their hearts with his god.
So what is the plan, Eivor?
When is their feast day?
A few nights from now, but their revelry has already begun. We should attack now.
That is unwise. Soldiers pace the paths of the village.
Then the night of the feast, under cover of darkness. That is when we will strike.
Ubba will not have died in vain.
We await your instructions, Eivor.
I will greet my allies first.
Good. Come find us again when you are ready.
All is ready, and your allies have arrived. Speak to them if you like. I'll be here when you're done.
Gidrich. After Rochester, I was not sure you would come again.
I've chosen my side. It would sooner bet a hog than allow Alfred to pillage the land of love.
Guthrum will trample Alfred's ambitions like weeds in the dirt. Mercia might rise further yet.
Perhaps I shall one day sit upon the throne of all England. King Gidrich the drunken ass.
I'll raise a cup to that.
Look, you Saxon bedwetters. Here is a real warrior.
Billy, what tales are you weaving for these serf-down Saxons? Do not make me regret supporting your Jarldom.
Eivor, you know I will take your childhood scrapes and secrets to the pyre.
Good. I would hate for something to happen to you in the coming fight.
Ha! Such fiendish ribaldry between you two. You laugh in the face of fear, tweak old man Death's beard.
I will do my mother and my lord proud today, Eivor. The Lord knows, I have not been the best of sons.
Good to see your spirits high. Fight well, my friends, and we'll feast together in victory.
You soft-cheeked Anglo boys. Have you brought your mothers with you?
My mother is worth 10 of your men.
I do not doubt it. I have seen those strong Saxon hens clucking round the hearth as you farmers play with your cocks.
Ha! And she'd welcome you in Colchester, Billy. Better than those sour-lipped thanes who haunt our hall.
Finir, stand tall. A light heart lifts all those around them.
Ah, Eivor! Who would not be joyous, raving at your side?
And how do you feel about bringing sorrow to the Saxons on their holy day?
It darkens my mood. I have learned some of the Christ Lord's teachings. He preaches peace where our gods delight in battle.
Let their delights be ours, then. We have many battles to wage before the end.
And I will be beside you for them all. My axe ready and my heart stout.
Tafter, it is good to see you.
I gave you my word. Besides, Alfred's faith is strict and he has no love for pagans.
You have changed much from that god-whipped boy. That is good to see.
I was always him, but my faith was like a veil. I am glad you helped me lift it.
And now another education. You'll see how we Norse bads fight.
I am all aquiver with anticipation.
Deolav, you have come again at my call.
I have, but this does not sit well with me, Eivor. This is a Christian feast, and the people here are not soldiers.
I come only for Alfred.
Innocents will die for your ambitions. I am your ally now, but after this, I must turn back to Mercia. I have much to repent.
So long as I do not lose your friendship, your oath will be fulfilled.
Eivor! It's good to see you.
Erke and Stowe. I released you from your debt, and yet you came.
London is quiet enough, and Stowe here felt the sharp stab of conscience.
Could not let you down, Eivor. That's not what an honorable man does. So here I am, despite my reservations.
And you, Broder. I did not think you would be here either.
I have seen to my brother, sent him to Valhalla with grave goods. I am done with sorrow, Eivor. Now I am bloody angry.
We owe Eivor a lot, my love.
I know. This last affray, I hope the debt will be cleared. I long to return home to our own warm hearth.
There you are, Raven.
Lufina, pure. It warms my heart to see you well.
Well as ever. Better since we skinned those order rats.
I hunted down more in Winchester on Alfred's behalf. Now we come to take his kingdom.
How quickly a coin can flip when tossed from hand to hand. Only a fool is a betting man.
Aye, Alfred thought to use me, but he will find differently at Chippenham.
Eivor, you made it unscathed.
Let us speak of our plan to take Chippenham. Let us plan our approach. But whatever happens, Alfred is mine.
They are not expecting us. We should not meet much resistance on the way.
Then quietly through the fields. It will already be too late once they see us.
Your young Saxons can be our eyes to the west. Better to keep their soft hands away from the conflict.
My scouts reported that a few nobles have arrived for the festivities already.
Good. If we capture the Thanes, there will be no danger when I confront Alfred.
And we could persuade them to support a new king of Wessex. I will subdue the lords.
Take Deolaf and Tefta with you. They could prove useful in convincing the Thanes. Rodin, take Etki Stowe and capture the garrison. Make quick work of any Saxons that dare cross into the village.
Gladly, Eivor.
We each know our parts. May they blunt their swords against our might. Tonight, Wessex's last resistance will crumble.
I follow you, Eivor.
And I.
Be ravening wolves and croaking ravens. Stand firm, your axe arms strong, and together, we will win this final battle. And remember, Alfred is mine. Soma, with me. Everyone else, go quickly to the village. Advance! Be on the lookout for any stray guards. Lufina, Hjor, keep a strong flank. Get to the village and wait for my signal. Let's smoke the rat out of his guard's house. Have a look, Sunan. Alfred! Face me, and I will spare the last of Wessex my torch!
Did you think my king would turn his back on you, Eivor? When your knife is smeared with the blood of Wareham?
Stand aside, Goodwin. I come for Alfred.
Alfred is long gone. And this good Christian feast, a cup of honey wine, to trap some wasps.
Where is he?
Calling his allies to his side. All those who wish to see Wessex under one god. You cannot win England with your sorry crew of deluded farmers and godless fools.
At least I wouldn't leave them to die as I scurried through the corn husks like a rat.
You have no understanding of duty, the loyalty I freely give. His plan for England, for the world, is worth the cost of my life.
Then sing your tuneless hymns.
Come, Raven Feeder. Do your worst.
Such empty fury. It does not matter if I die as long as Alfred is safe.
Your life means so little. You are beaten, Goodwin.
Beaten? No, not so. By my death, my lord may live.
Alfred used you, fool. He threw you in my path. For what? He only delays what is inevitable.
Kill me then. It makes no odds. For here you stand, bloody and breathless, no closer to my king, no closer to his throne. This island will never be your home, Eivor. You will not subdue her with vicious force, or win her with cocksure words. We Saxons will always stand firm, shoulder by shoulder against thieves and tyrants, whose envious eyes fall upon England.
If I must strike down all of England to subdue her, let it begin with you.
O Lord, into your hands I commit my spirit.
The men of Wessex! They came from every house and hovel!
Soma, fall back!
For glory!
Soma! No!
With me for a straight.
Oh, the light!
It's caught alight! By the gods, fire!
Guthrum, I need you fighting with the rest.
These men will not surrender! And one little cockflogger barricaded himself behind that door there!
I will find a way in.
Protect it!
Bleed you! Break you! Your aggressive unholy interruption! Peace be! No threat to you!
I need to see if Broder has taken the garrison. Good work, Guthrum. I hope the rest have fared as well.
Nothing.
Huh? Hunwald! Come, get up! This is no time for weep wailing!
I cannot. And there is a blackness closing in around my eyes. It frightens me.
Forgive me, Hunwald. I should have been quicker.
No. No. You were my staunch protector, Ellerich.
Eivor, have you seen graver wounds?
I will carry him from the fray. To that farmhouse there. I will get you to safety, Hunwald. Hunwald, listen to me. You survived the Battle of Bottleston. Do not let this scratch best you now.
I'm so cold. Has winter come so soon?
You will warm yourself with mead and dancing yet, my friend.
Perhaps not, Eivor. It may be I will sit beside my father soon. Will he be proud of me?
He will pull you to his breast, sob bright words of welcome, and until you no man ever had a worthier son.
I am glad to have known you, Eivor. My truest.
There was nothing more you could have done. Friendship has a hollow ring if there's no threat of losing it.
This! I'll stage your welcome.
I need to see if Broder has taken the garrison. There was nothing.
You're gonna die!
Broder, what can I do?
Eivor! The garrison has more defenders than we hoped! My men are being slaughtered!
I will find a way to open the gates from the inside.
Hurry! These waves of reinforcements are hell sent!
That is most of them. Make sure the garrison stays under our control. I need to help the others.
Blindside, idiot!
They're weakened! Let us finish this!
You will not rout us, interlopers! Not on this Christ Mass!
And the raven come!
Stand true! God protects us on his day of feasts! These gangs defy our God and King!
Try the offside gate!
You will not rout us, interlopers! Not on this Christ Mass!
Jesus, my balls!
These Danes defy our God and King! The last of the Saxons are fleeing! The battle is won! That's it! They're fleeing!
They are routed! The city is ours! Wessex will follow!
Good from Jarl. We are not without losses. Some of them grave.
Their king is fled! His patsy struck down! Defeat rings loud in their ears, and I will be their lord before the spring is here!
Guthrum, hear me! Soma is... She's gone.
Soma? Dead? She has gone to the endless feast, and is the better for it.
I must speak to those still living. It is done, Brodir. You fought well.
I saw him, Eivor. In my darkest moment, Brodir stood beside me. And all was as it used to be. And then the battle ended. I feel him no longer.
There will be other battles.
Aye. And there you'll find me, Eivor. In amongst the blood and death. Brodir at my shoulder. Until the Valkyries claim me.
You have given me more than I would ever have asked for. How will I repay it?
Keep him in your thoughts. For when a man is mourned, his deeds cheered and his songs sung, he cannot die.
Lufina. Gods, I did not know. Is he?
Hush. What good can words do, Eivor? Keep to silence. He is gone. For what days I was given to spend with you. For each breath that carried your sweet whispers, I give thanks. No more. Your fingers in my hair. No more your arms around my waist. The days will be cold hereafter. All color dimmed. Goodbye, my only. My heart ends with you. What is left will go on.
Your first battle, Ellerich. You fought well and with honor.
Is this the glory you deign seek? You can keep it. I saw Hunwald die. The light dim in his eyes. That could have been me.
You will never be the same. But you will be stronger for it.
I have wasted so much time in pouting like a child. No more, Eivor. No more.
Do you think there will come a day when winning will not be enough?
Well, you can always fight with me if you want to taste crushing and loin-soiling defeat.
My very presence would make that impossible.
Enjoy this victory, Eivor, wherever it brings you. Only a coward thinks he'll live forever.
Erki, you wear a furrowed brow.
Stowe is taking matters hard. You know how sensitive he is.
A man of faith and stout morals. Small wonder he is tormented.
His support for you has taxed him hard. I will take him back to London. Maybe he will find some comfort there.
You are his comfort, Erke. Not the city you watch. He is in good hands. My thanks, Stowe. You came to my aid when you were free to turn away.
And still it breaks my heart to look upon what we've done today. Was it the right choice? I do not know. But it is done now.
If Alfred had his way, there would never be friendship between Norse and Saxon. You fought for peace. Be proud of that.
I wish I could. And in time, perhaps I will.
My heart is heavy.
Many fought for us and died. They deserve peace.
Are you ready to honor them?
Yes, there's nothing more to say.
Time to send our friends to their great reward. Will you do the honors?
Nothing awaits them. They lived, they died, and now their bodies will burn to cinders. Their saga ends here.
Well, do not share that with them.
Victory is ours. But it came at a great cost. Soma Jarlskona, who stood at Guthrum's right hand. She will live on in our memories, from now to the end of days. And to Hjor, warrior, husband, and a friend, he made the ultimate sacrifice. I here repay it. And to Hunwald, whose kind heart has now led him to his father's side. May his God welcome him with open arms. Let us send them on their way. All our beloved dead, our fallen warriors, and speed them to their end. Guthrum.
When the Reeve died, did he take comfort in knowing he would soon see his god?
He was strangely peaceful in the end, as if death meant nothing.
We stumble through our years, ravenous, grasping, spilling blood, stealing gold, and it is never enough. This life is never enough. Would it not suit you to know there is something beyond all this? Not war and valor, but quiet and peace?
I think I think the afterlife men hope for is only a reflection of their regret in this life. All I wish for now is to live among the friends I've made. That is what counts.
Alfred made me swear fealty upon the cross of their god's son. He held such faith in it, a plain, unadorned thing. It burned between my fingers, as if I had pulled it from the fire. A feeling strange and powerful, but gone in an instant. I have not felt its like before.
What will you do now?
Whatever I must do. England is my final home, Eivor. And I will do what it takes to remain.
I should return to Swanborough and tell her of Hunwald's fate. Better the news comes from me than a stranger. I need your eyes, my friend.
Yeah! More sail!
In quiet moments like these, I often think on my life and how it will come to pass. The Nornir weave our fates. Everything we do has already been decided, even the day of our death. But these thoughts trouble me. For if the Nornir already know I am to be great, then I will be great, no matter what I do. If I cast myself overboard to drown, would fate send a dolphin to save me? Or was I always meant for a watery end? What is the point of valor, of glory? If I slay 100 men, am I a hero? After all, the dice were loaded. Should I do nothing at all? Why make an effort when I could stand here and let my fate come to me? Or does heroism lie in not knowing one's fate? Facing your end, whatever the whims of the gods. Perhaps the true measure of a man, the full span of his worth, is how little he gives a shit.
I'm nearing the Avon River at Uthentune. This was where Alfred said the battle with Uppa took place.
Who will share a tale?
Here's a tale to tickle your sides. The winter before, I was drinking in Stavanger with some companions.
Sail out!
With us in the mead hall were men of Bard Jarl's clan, one of which was a poet named Halli.
Hush now.
All right, back to the story.
With us in the mead hall were men of Bard Jarl's clan, one of which was a poet named Halli, called Sarcastic Halli by most. 7 ale horns into his night, Halli stood upon his table and called across the room to another man, a skald named Chodolf. Chodolf, he yelled, I can compose a more beautiful poem with my belching than you could with your tongue and fine words. The room laughed, Rudolph loudest of all. I accept your challenge, sarcastically, he shouted. Allow me to begin. Rudolph then spoke this verse. Sad Hully drowns in horns of hubris, squeaking like a stoat, yet proudly the pup calls it poetry. The room laughed again, with Hully joining in. Then...
We can continue later. Where were you?
The room laughed again, with Hully joining in. Then, Hully tripped across the room and opened his mouth to speak his verse. From his throat erupted a jet of vomit into Rudolph's face. His only composition that night, of which he seemed most proud.
Did I tell you about the time I pretended to be a goat? I am no stranger to the company of others' wives. But there was one beautiful wren, married to an old blind Alwyn. I could not resist her. So when he fell asleep, ale-addled by the fire, she let me visit her most private chambers. She was a chirping songbird, but I was a braying buck.
Hush now. Run up the sail! Run up the sail! Were you at the good part yet?
She was a chirping songbird, but I was a braying buck, rousing the dead in my ecstasy. At the moment of glory, the old man burst in on us, waving his crop. He struck me on the arse and I gave a yelp. "Who's there?" he cried. But my girl was quick of wit and knew her husband well. She convinced old blind Alwyn it was not a man in a room, but his prize goat escaped from its pen. He dragged me by the hair, down on all fours to the barn, where he bolted it fast. I spent the night lying in straw and shit. Still, the best night of my life.
Let's hear a story.
Some years ago, I took to sea with a sword dance.
A good shag story should...
Death follows in my wake.
A good nickname must care.
It was a man called Kjotve the Cruel.
When I came to England with the Sons of Ragnar, I believed it would be a brief raid. A swift adventure out on the open sea.
My favorite
We
part.
can continue later. Where were you?
My favorite part of any battle is the moment before it. Everyone has their ritual in that flutter of anticipation. Our hearts race. Soma would visit the children of the camp.
I have seen the shores of Francia now. Only a glimpse, but a glimpse was enough. I will paint it in your minds, my friends. How the wind stirs the trees, the birds cut the sky, and the lands are emerald green. The swell of those rolling hills, the way the sunlight dapples the forest floor, the maidens toiling in the fields, the sweat on their breasts glistening. Oh, yes, how their firm buttocks tighten as they bend to pick sweet flowers. And the way they speak, even an insult sounds like an invite. What else might they do with such elegant tongues? Oh,
Take the mask
don't say
down.
you weren't thinking the same. One day I will make that land my home. And those maidens will be mine.
Who among you
Raise
has
the mask.
heard the tale of the Kraken? It is a real beast, I tell you. I saw
Sail.
it with my own eyes.
Catch the
a long
wind.
time ago. I had barely a hair on my chin. I was out whaling, painting the sea red as we dragged our quarry back to the village by its fin. Fine old grey. Huge he was, but the boat slowed down some. Then stopped, and soon started moving against the current. We were stunned into silence. Whales die slow death sometimes, and often they make a last bid to escape. So I checked its bindings. And there it was, the Kraken, its arm wrapped around the whale, pulling it down to the depths. And us with it. I slashed the rope, releasing the whale. And as quickly as it came, the monster disappeared, dragging its dinner into the icy waters. Vanished completely. Took me another season to muster the desire to go whaling again.
When I was a girl, I tied threads to my mother's cats and screamed. The cup got dragged through Valhalla!
Calm
Why
down.
is it when we grow old, we stop telling ourselves the most fantastic stories? Why is it
What's
we
the
stop
matter here?
believing we can command the gods? We abandon all the true dramas of our own creations. Our own friendly Seidr, for the dark Seidr, the political Seidr. When we are children, we are the nobles of our little world. The rulers of moments.
Let's put her
the
in
glory
here.
of glee.
Hold on, good Scott.
It's a fine day, Eivor. Eivor?
Swanborough, I...
No. Gods, no. Don't say it, please, Eivor. Don't say it.
I am sorry.
Oh! My own one. No. My poor swan. Oh, gods.
He fought bravely and turned the tide to secure victory. Your dear Hunwald died a hero and will be so remembered.
Oh, gods. I know he would have fainted to hear such praise from your lips. Thank you, Eivor. Thank you.
He walks among warriors now.
Yes. The lucky man. I imagine he does.
I know words are poor salve for a wounded heart. I will leave you to mourn, and know that we are here for you, always, should you need us. Something for me. What is it?
A letter requesting your presence in the southwest, a village called Athelney.
Nothing strange about a summons for me, is there?
It is not the recipient I find strange. It is the sender. The letter is signed a poor fellow soldier of Christ.
Ah, our mysterious partner.
For a short time, I hoped it might be Basim feeding us the names of these targets. He seemed the most likely man for a time.
Only one way to discover the truth. Thank you, Hytham. I will take care of this. Hamptonshire has fallen, and with it the Kingdom of Wessex. But the cost was great. Maybe too great for all we gained.
Rest then. You have earned it.
On the backs of so many. Time will tell if it was worth it.
Yes, one more. And only because you all have such good taste. Now, this one begins a long time.
Eivor, good to see you. I am, did you want something, or? I was wondering.
What's wrong?
Bridget and I were thinking, with everything calming down the way it has, maybe you could find a spare moment and...
You want to be married?
Yes, to each other.
Yes, I imagined. Gunnar, to see you so happy has been a pleasure. And to marry you would be an honor. Shall I put out a call to any friends abroad?
I'll be honest, Eivor. I came here with a lot of you, because nothing and no one kept me back there. The Raven clan is all the family I need. And Bridget too. From all she said, she's better off here than with those she calls kin. Just a couple of foundlings we are.
Then let's not bother with tradition. If you have your bride and your blade, we will see you wed. As Jarl, I do it gladly.
Long time ago, at a desert oasis,
Let's go. Need to row our way out. Let's have a song. Is there a sea scold among you?
Quiet a moment, and listen to my tale of the king in the east, who showers gold upon his warriors from Norway and Gautla. He be named Basil of Greece, the Jarl of all Jarls.
Let the sail out!
And even his bathing tub is forged of gold. But such wealth draws envy. Every day, his Jarls and Thanes plotted for his life and lands, using poison, arrows, and blades. Basil lived in fear. One day, Basil was bathing in his golden tub when his enemies attacked. Naked, Basil leapt out a window and into the streets. There, he met by chance a warrior and trader of the Gauts. The just warrior saved the naked man from the attackers. Grateful, Basil gave this man gold and made him his chief thane that day. But it is a poor leader that lacks loyal warriors. So they formed the Varangian Guard to serve as Basil's loyal retainers, paying men from Gautla, Rus, Norway, and Denmark. Basil trusts these men, for they are not Greek and cannot take his land. But it is a poor king that can't keep a throne.
You salt skulls! Bring the mask down!
Think on Estrid in my time in Essex. I was almost a year younger, and more foolhardy then. Once, the sight of her filled me with tempest. But those storms have calmed her. She did not giggle nor swoon like many girls I know. Wit was her weapon.
Sail out!
She could unman you with one swipe of her tongue. But such grace, such light. Freya herself would not step with such elegance. Her gaze blinded me. Her words cut me down, raised me up, made me a wolf, a lamb, a babe, a sage. Wiser men than me have been made fools by love. But not all of them take the lesson from it that I have. When I marry, I will take an equal. No more, no less. A woman worthy of me, as I will be of her.
Let's hear a story.
I once sat down and spoke to a Saxon priest. Not as men with different gods, but as drunk men. Curious, I questioned him. He claimed we might believe differently in who sits amongst the clouds. Our beliefs are not so different in nature. After all, they too look to the gods for answers.
Catch the wind!
Where we have many, they have just one.
Save it for later. All right, back to the story.
After all, they too look to the gods for answers. Where we have many, they have just one. Only need one, I suppose. So I asked him, is your god truly so powerful? We see the dark clouds and know Thor's fury as it singes Midgard. But I had yet to witness their god's primal powers. What were they? Did he bring bountiful harvests? Boons? The priest said that his god was everywhere and everything. I did not understand it then. Maybe I still do not. There is an undeniable vigor, a strength in their idea of heaven, believing that their lives will one day be better still, even with us cleaving through it. Hope, Abel. Hope. I think that is what they're...
Listen well, so I may tell you a tale of the Berserkers, and why we keep our potent brew a secret. Once there was a Berserker named Nori Nineclaws, who became a wealthy Jarl, known for his fair and generous home. Every day, dozens of thanes, merchants, cousins, and other hangers-on ate at his table, drank his meal, and took his gifts. Finally, Nori Jarl grew angry about these leeches. He ordered his cooks to prepare a secret brew for a magnificent feast. He then invited every freeloader in his yardom to his meal, promising his greatest gift yet to be given after the feast. As his guests ate and drank their fill, Nori and his loyal colleagues slipped away. One by one, the guests entered Berserkergangen. When the feast erupted into slaughter, Nori and his men torched the hall before fleeing on a ship, never to be seen again. There is much olden wisdom to take away from this tale. I will let each rower think out which lesson is best for them.
Estrid spoke often of the teachings of Christ. I found them cold and strange, hidden in word tangles of a sacred tongue. The common folk do not even know the language they worship in. They listen but do not understand. Despite that, it has captured many Norse minds. Often I wonder why. We Norse dream of doom and know we cannot avoid it. Those who do not die in battle face eternity in cold hell. But the Christian God gives hope. Even the poor and meek will find paradise. He welcomes all, if they only worship him. Has Christ captured you? Estrid asked me once as we
will pick up from there. Were you at the good part yet?
Has Christ captured you? Estrid asked me once as we lay together in bed. But Christ is a god of peace, ill-suited to my nature. Odin is my guiding light. He, at least, is never boring.
We need an epic tale.
There was a tale of the man I was to crown.
Friends, I have often said Nya.
I will tell you this. No one is born with the gift of Odin's verse. One must work and suffer to learn the skill of fighting. When you look like I do, and do not hit as hard as the young oafs, you must find different ways to survive.
Hold on, good Skald. Where were you?
A long time ago, on youth's smooth path, I came into the company of an old Skald. He wrote sagas for the Jarls of the region. He had fallen into trouble with some of the locals.
What are you doing?
I could not stand by and watch him take a beating. So I stepped in. 6 men attacked me, and I was swiftly put down. For that, the old Skald bought me ale and invited me to join him.
We will pick up from there.
All right there?
Yes, hello. I do not mean to intrude, but I am looking for someone.
And who would that be then?
I do not know exactly.
Well, that'd be why you ain't found him. But you're free to pass the time just here if you like.
Thank you.
These are soul cakes, love. Do you know soul cakes?
I do. I enjoy them.
They're small things, size of a lumpy fist, so they'll bake fast. Keep your eyes sharp.
And the butter, do I baste them?
No need, love. We'll leave the butter for meal time.
I look forward to it.
Right then. I'll leave you to this. If you need me, I'll be doing the washing up next door.
Quite a step down from your former work, Lord.
As their guest, I volunteer to help with the daily chores. They offer me a bed. I tend the cakes.
Do they not feel strange giving orders to their king? Or do they know?
That knowledge would benefit no one.
I read your message. You went through a great deal of trouble to obscure yourself as this poor soldier of Christ. As I remember, you even sent yourself one of these letters in Winchester. A clever touch.
The Order wanted me dead. I had to be careful.
You said you knew nothing about the Order then. Pled ignorance. But you knew everything. Their names. Their schemes.
Would you join me for a walk? You look well, Eivor.
I am. The wars have ended, and my settlement thrives.
The wars have not ended. You have simply stopped fighting. But men are brewing plots in mead halls and bedrooms. You will see.
And how are you, Alfred? Getting used to the idea of being unremarkable?
I am well. Better than I expected. In this exile, I have found a somewhat nourishing peace. Each morning, I am awakened by the sun and growling cormorants. I bathe in the chilly water of the marsh. I eat from shrubs and drink from buckets. It is a good life. Simple. Blessed. I've never been so far west. I find it quite peaceful here. Calming.
I've traveled a long way to hear one name, Alfred. Who is the Orta's Grand Magister?
Tell your shadowy friends that England is swept clean. Your work is done.
You?
Grand Magister was not a title I desired. It passed to me on the death of my brother. From my father before him. Defilers of God's majesty and grandeur. I was their master, and I loathed them. With Goodwin, I set a plan in motion to destroy the Order from within. But my troubles with the Danes delayed that plan.
But your trouble with this Dane is what led to their demise.
You are Norse, are you not?
You have a good ear.
I owe you my thanks, Abel. For that, I give you this. The key to my study. That you may better understand the good you have done. With the Order all but destroyed, you have made room for a greater idea. One to take its place. A universal divine order, inspired by God for the betterment of man.
With a poor fellow soldier at its head.
You have saved England, whether or not that was your intent. Now let England save you.
England is no more, Lord. You are the last of her kings, and yet you have no kingdom.
Look around you. God's works are wondrous. They cannot be ignored, nor resisted. In time, all those who accept God will flourish, and all those who defy him will fall away. Should you remain in England, you too will one day be her subject.
Oh, bloody crumbs! The cakes are burnt! Where is that man? Young man, where have you gone?
Damn. That may have earned me a night of washing linens. I do not know if we shall meet again, Eivor. God willing we will. As one lord to another, perhaps. I'm coming, my lady. I'm here.
Alfred gave me a key to unlock his study. Somewhere in Winchester.
Oh dear, look at them little balls of soot!
Good lady, forgive me. I was lost in thought.
No matter, just let them cool and we'll begin again.
Direct me and I will obey.
More sail! Sing us a song. Who will share a tale?
When I gave up my berserker ways, my family decided to leave Norway. We sold our farm and weapons for 12 silver deniers. We sailed the whale roads with a merchant fleet, settling near Jorvik after Halfdan's battles. Alfhildr, Njarl, and I owned a home.
Hush now. All right, back to the story.
Each day, we went to the market, where Njarl did tricks to earn coin. We were beloved, and Njarl was pleased by Jorvik's tasty fish. But one day, people no longer enjoyed Njarl.
I came to England too late. That is the problem. The sons of Ragnar have shorn her of...
Friends, amid all this battle music, how many of you still recall the first time you drew steel? I tell you that I do remember. The summer harvest. I was 14. Father sent me to find my sister, who was late to the threshing. She often went to the woods with her betrothed in those days. I found them near the blackberries.
Save it for later. This place is heavily guarded. Were you at the good part yet?
I found them near the blackberries, still holding hands. They were dead, slain. I ran to raise the alarm, but far too late. Black smoke curled over the rooftops. The mead hall in flames. Thatched roofs burning all the crofts and byres. Flesh, too. Raiders from the Erlinger clan came down the coast. A feud between our jarls, the cause long forgotten. Stolen cows.
We can continue later. I should talk to Hytham. Where were you?
Raiders from the Erlinger clan came down the coast. A feud between our jarls, the cause long forgotten. Stolen cows, maybe. My first...
We will pick up from there. All right, back to the story.
My first stood...
Hold on, good Scott. Where were you?
My first stood above my father's body. His back to me. I saw the sire. I did not think.
Drop the mast!
I grabbed it and cut him down. I have walked the road of red ever since. But at times, I wonder where I would be.
Raise the mast!
Had the Erlingers not come a raiding that day.
You lot
Let
have
the
not
sail
fought
out.
a full
Reef
campaign
sail.
under Halfdan's banner, I would wager. Let me tell you what it was like.
Save it for later.
Gasona!
This is it, Alfred's study. What secrets has he kept hidden away? Rantings and ravings not unlike full-cased illusions. Is there more to all this than I understand?
Sessionum in penultime is...
Det sorgar gift i Sverige.
This area is off limits. Run up the sail! You salt skulls, got a story?
Did I tell you about the time
There was a woman called Nal, who came by ship to Fornburg and
Bring the mast down!
demanding to meet King Sigvaldi, Styrbjorn's father. Nal was from Gautland. She was tall and rugged and strong, and everyone who walked near her said she smelled of men's blood. When her message was sent to our king, Nal was made to wait a full day. Yet she did not complain. She watched the waves and sang songs. Night came and went, and still Nal sat by the shore of the fjord singing her songs.
We can continue later. Best brace my hood here. All right, back to the story.
Night came and went.
Hush now. Were you at the good part yet?
Night came and went, and still Nal sat by the shore of the fjord singing her songs. She skipped rocks with children and smiled. As the afternoon...
Save it for later. I should be cautious around here. Where were you?
As the afternoon of the second day approached, King Sigvaldi's messenger reappeared. They spoke quietly together. At last, the messenger stood back and waved to some men nearby. 3 men bearing 3 chests of silver approached quickly. They set the chests of silver in Nal's ship and stood back. Then Nal stepped forward, swinging a large, bloodied sack before her. Nal opened the sack and emptied it on the shore. 7 pairs of hands tumbled to the ground. Nal...
Hold on, good Scott. Sail out! Were you at the good part yet?
Nal opened the sack and emptied it on the shore. 7 pairs of hands tumbled to the ground. Nal then mounted her ship and sailed away.
My first day defending the walls of Grantebridge, my duty was defense. I had asked for this task myself. As I patrolled the walls, I sang and banged my shield against the ribs of the walls. I woke half the camp with my wailing. I sang from the eddies as Galen, Leaf, and Soma through rucksacken. They thought me too frivolous. Until the day I caught a spy. Some filthy shadow walker trying to rob us. Of what? Only Loki knows. Yalin killed him before he could be tried. My point...
Hush now. All right, back to the story.
My point is, always be loud. Act a fool. Be a nuisance. It is your greatest defense. For the less your enemy thinks of you, the more he thinks you a fool, the more likely he is to make a grave error. We are here to stay, are we not? Heed my advice, and you will live a long, long time.
Sail down!
What's going on?
Sail! Catch the wind! Sing, my raven. Let's hear a story.
During my 19th winter, King Styrbjorn ordered the
We will pick up from there. Were you at the good part yet?
During my 19th winter, King Styrbjorn ordered the construction of a new longhouse. The splendid hall you now see at Thornburg. To build this longhouse, he employed the help of 20 men. I was among them, as was Fradi, the strongest and stoutest man I had ever seen. We set about felling trees and hewing wood for timber. Fradi was the fastest of us, dropping 41 trees in only 2 days. On the third day, a spindly man called Nar was near upon felling his first tree. He had hacked it all the way around like some mad animal. When the tree fell, it did so in a direction he had not wished. Straight down upon Fradi. Nar called out, but it was too late. Fradi...
We can continue later. All right, back to the story.
Fradi had only enough time to turn and face the doom bearing down upon him. With that, he raised his arms to embrace the timber hammer. The force of the trees falling drove Fradi deep into the snowbank, yet his arms never let go. He held that angry trunk as a lover. Like hounds, we scooped at the snow to reach him. We found Fradi 10 feet down, alive but in pain, still bearing the tree upon his shoulder.
We need an epic tale.
My mother taught me to care for oaths as if they were my own heart. There is no greater aim than to honor an oath till death. When a foul king strolls into town, an oath means as much as dust.
We will pick up from there. Where were you?
When a foul king strolls into town, an oath means as much as dust. These flimsy oaths, they cost us everything. I like to take oaths in the ancient manner. Do not eat for a day, then cut a sheet of peaty turf from the earth. Then wrap your sword in this oily carpet of dirt and grass, flakes from great Ymir's old corpse, and set it aflame. In that way your honor burns bright. Does not dwindle as you speak the old words. Now, with nothing to your name, with nothing to gain or lose, will you pledge your heart, your family, your raven wine, your honor, your might, and your word to each and each who stands and stood with you like fire and fire, and finally the dagger? Together draw blood from the cradle of the sword earth, mixed your inner rivers, and you are bound. That is how you make an oath. Today we shake, spit, and trade arm rings. All ceremony is gone. All thunder and spirit.
Who will share a tale?
In the early days of the feud between Quixote
Take the mask down.
You want a story, but I will give you a confession. And if you think me weaker for it, that tells more about you than me. Here is my secret. I love...
Raise the mask!
I love being in love. I love the ache of love. The turmoil of
Run
love.
up the sail!
My parents taught me that. To love, love. My mother once said, better to feel the stings and arrows of love than nothing at all. Be a bolt of lightning, not a stone. So many men forget to hug. My father would go by every hut in our village every night with mead and hugs. I would do the same. He always said, beyond the complex lives of gods are these simple truths. We forget, and it takes tragedy to get them back. He said this too. Hugs are hugs. Mead is mead. Love is love. Gods, I miss him. I see him sometimes, his face leaping from the waves.
I had a sweetheart once, a long time back. A fine lady I'd known since I was a boy. Now, believe it or not, there was a time when I was easy on the eyes. God and I, we ran off together. We were discovered. She had been promised to another, and that man had found us. We fled, but had nowhere to run. I told the girl to hide, but she
Make
did
for the
not.
dock.
She was...
Hold on, good Scott.
This one begins a long time ago at a desert oasis, far away, a place of mystery.
Here you are, Hytham. The last of the Order's sigils. You will find King Alfred's among them.
King Alfred? Did our poor fellow soldier lead you to his hiding place?
He did, for they were one and the same. Our poor fellow soldier of Christ was the Grand Magister of the Order of the Ancients.
He turned on his own order. Fascinating.
Not turned so much as trampled. His devotion to Christ and what he calls a universal order set him against them from the start. With all sincerity, he loathed the title and the duty he had inherited and wished them destroyed.
Wonderful. With his abdication, the last stronghold of the Order has been dismantled. All that remain are scraps here and there. And you, Eivor. Now that you have seen our enemy and you understand our cause, I wonder if you would join us. Become a hidden one.
Was this your ultimate goal, Hytham? A trial by fire? It is a kind offer, but I do not believe we fight for quite the same cause. Your creed demands that you keep your triumphs hidden. I prefer my glory to be in plain view for all to see.
If I taught you our creed, if you spent time with it, it could open your mind to another view.
Another view is always welcome. But to live without celebrating one's glory and honor and achievements is not a life for me. But know this. I would give my life in a moment for those I love and who love me in return. All here. Including you, my friend.
I understand you well, Eivor. Very well indeed.
This one begins a long time ago at a desert oasis, far away. A place of mystery, wonder, and a temple to a hidden...
About you and Bridget. When do you wish to be wed?
The sooner I can make her my wife, the happier I will be. But we are fine to wait until everything has settled here.
Enough waiting. Cool your forge and cover your anvil. Let's get you married.
Wonderful. Shall we gather everyone?
Gather your wife and your courage. I will bring the people together. I am honored to stand before you, Gunnar, Bridget, on this bountiful day. To celebrate the strength of your bond and to see you wed. I am in witness of a love that inspires and empowers. I invite you now to speak your vows.
To you, my darling Bridget, I offer this blade, forged in flames that burn as brightly as my heart does for you. A blade as sharp as your wit, as glinting as your beauty. May it sing through the air as sweetly as your voice meets my ears.
Dio, sut dwi 'di caru ti Gunnar. Dwi'n efo am lwcus bod fi 'di dod o hyd o ti yng nghariad.
And I give you my sword and my promise that I will stand at your side forever.
Hyd fi 'di breuddwydio am ffiwtio'n hun. A di so tawolwch yn hope a premonition. Ond dim mount o sgraen a foresight paratoi fi a sweeping adventure meeting ti. Tiw'r enaid fel dim arall. A dyn as strong a bwredig i. Ac fel as I fierce, mae'r calon yn hedfan dyr y ti.
Such poetry, oh dear. You make me cry, my love.
Let us hedfan efo'n gilydd, tra bywyd and beyond.
I offer you this ring, and take yours in kind. I will wear it with pride and honor, warmed by the love of so perfect a lady.
And I gwisgo fe fel calon, adoration a ffydd am byth.
This is the greatest day of my life. Embrace me, my love.
With our couple now bonded in matrimony, now we drink. Randvi, saw you looking a little lonely. Thought I might come and join you.
How nice. Are you enjoying yourself?
I am. I never thought I would see gruff old Gunnar so enraptured by a woman.
Enraptured by anything, for that matter. He's a hard one to read, but I am pleased for him, and for this day of rest and respite. After everything, a few days of feasting will do the people some good. They need this.
They do.
Will you walk with me?
Anywhere. Lead on.
Something has been on my mind for some time. I am no seer, but I foresaw this day long ago. Not Gunnar's marriage, but our situation. Our success.
How do you mean our success?
I mean to say that I saw our settlement flourishing, through our victories in war and in diplomacy. And from the day we set out from Norway, I knew that you would make a fitter leader than Sigurd. It was never in his character to lead. It was always within yours.
I see.
Do you?
You might have warned me.
You would not have listened.
Fair.
I do hope you see it now, in all that you have done for us.
Randvi, you and the people here have done more for me than I could ever repay. I am honored by your faith in me, and your confidence.
As I am honored by your friendship.
And I by yours.
Eivor, I want you to know that Sigurd and I are... We are severing the bonds of our marriage. We share a love that is steadfast, and I have faith it will forever be so. But it is not the love of a wife and her husband. It was not an easy decision. But after we talked with honesty, we embraced more warmly than we have in a great while. I think we will be happy.
I hope so. and I am pleased for you.
I am pleased for myself. Sigurd's desires are bigger than any man or woman can offer. He longs for something more.
And what about you? What are you looking for?
I have all I need right here. With you. With our people.
I'm grateful. So much of our prosperity we owe to you. I hardly know where to begin. You are my truest friend, Randvi. My right hand. My greatest ally.
I give you my word that it will always be so. I'm happiest by your side, and in your company. Shall we find our way back to the wedding? Bridget might give another speech. We must not miss that.
About that, I have not understood a single word of hers since Gloucestershire.
Really? I find she speaks beautifully. With poetry, even.
Are you kidding?
Am I? Come, we should go.
And how are the marriage customs in your country, Hytham? Something like this?
Like this in all the most important ways. There are smiles, cheers, and warm embraces. All that is needed, I think.
You've been among us for quite some time, Reda. Are you ready to settle? Make a home here?
For a year or two, perhaps. But I am not the settling kind. I am a wanderer, always searching, never finding. Maybe one day.
Alvis, I'm surprised you did not serenade the bride and groom with a verse or two.
Oh, I wished to, I did. But all that came to me were insults and jibes. Another time, I think.
Bridget, I gift you a formal welcome to our clan and our family. You are a fine addition to Gunnar's life and to ours.
Diolch Evior. I couldn't be more happy to Boma. Hoping now to wash and it keeps me sure that years.
Yes, of course. As I say, it is wonderful to have you. Gunnar, you old trout. You're a married man. Never thought I would see the day.
Nor did I. And not for lack of trying.
Volka, I want to thank you for all you've done for me. My visions have lessened of late, and I find it hard to explain how different I feel. Grounded, unified, at peace.
That is good to hear, Eivor. Very good to hear.
It is a strange feeling, brother. Weddings are the beginning of something, but this feels like something of an end.
The first happy union in our home. We have matured into something greater. So yes, a beginning and an end, I think.
Better watch his back. Pulling me out like that.
Hello, and well met. Eivor, I want to thank you on behalf of myself and Bridget. Our wedding was the greatest day of my life, and it could never have gone so well without you.
Truly, Gunnar. It was my pleasure. I must take my leave. So long.